Is the artwork challenging and interesting? What feeling or thoughts does it evoke when you see the artwork itself? Does it invoke any feelings in you? Does it invoke any thoughts in you? Is there any type of emotion? Is there some type of message that the artist is trying to convey? Hi, this is Anita from 5 Minutes with Art. Today I want to talk about visual elements and design principles of contemporary art and why these are important and what some of the different elements are. If you are an artist, this is good for you to know and to understand. And if you're not an artist, but you just love art and you particularly love contemporary art, it's also good for you to be able to understand these elements when you are viewing the art. So when viewing art, there's 8 essential elements that should be considered, and they are line. Line's an element that's formed by points moving in space. A line could be 2 or 3 dimensional, descriptive, implied, or abstract. Form. Form can be 3-dimensional, it can be 2-dimensional. A form will include some height, width, and depth, such as a cube, pyramid, sphere, or cylinder. A form can be free-flowing. So when you're looking at contemporary art, you need to look at line, you need to look at form, you need to look at space. Is there both positive and negative areas are defined? Shape. A shape could be 2-dimensional, flat, could be limited by height and width. And color. So color, of course, is very, very important in contemporary art. The color hues, the value, the intensity. Is it a high color? Is it strong? Is it bright? Is it a low color? Is it light? Is it faint? Is it dull? All of those things can help convey a message. And value is the lightness or the darkness of the color. White has the lightest value and black has the darkest value. Next one is the texture. How does it feel? Does it feel like the painting's coming out from you? Is there texture to the painting? All these are visual elements that you will use when you're viewing a contemporary art. And, they can have all of these elements or just have many of these elements. Some of these will be more prominent, others will not. But usually you can find all or most of these elements in contemporary art. So there's some principles also of design with contemporary art that should also be looked at. One is the rhythm, the principle of rhythm. This is the movement of the art. An artist like Jackson Pollock was a master of this. His art had movement, it had rhythm. You could see the drips. And that's one reason why the art is still so popular today. There'd be a balance about it, combining elements together to give a feeling of equilibrium or stability in the work of the art. There'd be an emphasis that's also known as a contrast. Combining elements to stress the differences between the elements. One of my favorite artists for this is Clyfford Steels. I think, he is a master and a completely underrated artist, but he's just one of the greatest abstract expressionist artists that ever lived. And the other's proportion is the relationship of the design between certain elements to each other or as the whole. And graduation is about the gradual change in elements in a design. Example would be a large shape that gradually goes to a small shape, or a color that gradually faints and goes from dark to light or light to dark or something like that. And harmony is about combining similar elements in an artwork to show or accent their similarities. Another could be variety, concern the diversity or contrasting areas. Different shapes, colors, or, sizes could be into the artwork itself. And movement, that the artwork, creates a look or feel of some kind of action, some type of movement. And as I said before, Jackson Pollock was a master of the rhythm and the movement. So when you're viewing contemporary art, these are some things that you should look at. And you should look at some of these things like, what type of visual elements stand out in the artwork itself? What type of design elements stand out? What is the artist trying to convey? What's the message that's trying to be done here? Why did the artist choose these visual elements? What principles of art and design did the artist use in their work? How did the principles of design affect their work? Is the artwork challenging and interesting? What feeling or thoughts does it evoke when you see the artwork itself? Does it invoke any feelings in you? Does it invoke any thoughts in you? Is there any type of emotion? Is there some type of message that the artist is trying to convey? Are the materials interesting? What's the first thing you see when you view the art? What's the first thing you feel? How do you feel when you view it? And how does your eye follow around the art? And does it touch any of your senses? Do you see, hear, feel, or smell? Is there any type of your senses that are being felt by this art? If you can answer to any of these questions, then that's a great piece of art, and the artist has been able to convey something to you and had you feel something about their art themselves. I'm going to put a link into my blog post about visual elements and design principle, contemporary art explained. If you'd like to read more about this and understand more about the visual elements and the design principles for contemporary art. This is Anita from 5 Minutes with Art. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate you. We appreciate you spending 5 minutes a week with us to be able to learn more about art. And we'd like to thank our team, Rico, for helping put this together. Thank you so much.